What if the most profound spiritual realization isn't a feeling of cosmic connection, but the echo of a vast personal nothingness? And what if, in the very moment you touch eternity, you feel more alone than you ever have in your entire life? This is the silent reality, the one whispered about in the corners of meditation halls and confessed only in the deepest hours of the night. You've followed the path. You've sat for countless hours, you've deconstructed the ego, you've had glimpses of the boundless awareness that you truly are, and in the wake of that, a hollow wind blows through you, a profound, unsettling emptiness. Not the peaceful emptiness of concepts, but a visceral, aching void. You look at the world, at friends laughing, at families connecting, at the relentless dance of life, and you feel like a ghost behind glass. You are here, and yet infinitely far away. This is the loneliness that awakening can unveil. Not the loneliness of being physically alone, but the existential loneliness of seeing the mechanism behind the magic. And so begins the quiet suffering, the internal fracture that you dare not name, because to name it feels like a betrayal of the very enlightenment you sought. You smile, you speak wisely, you offer comfort to others, all while carrying this subtle, persistent, emotional pain, a raw, tender spot in your consciousness that throbs with the truth of impermanence, of separation, of the sheer vulnerability of having a heart in a world of constant change. This pain isn't dramatic, it doesn't scream, it whispers. It's the quiet suffering of feeling too much and belonging nowhere. Let's dismantle this, pillar by pillar, starting with the most misunderstood, emptiness. We throw this word around in spiritual circles, shunyata, the void, pure potential. We treat it as a trophy, but the lived experience of emptiness, after the initial fireworks fade, can feel like being a shell. You've seen through the solidity of the self, and now you question, if I am not this collection of stories, of desires, of roles, then what fills this space? The answer that comes isn't light, but a formless, directionless expanse. This is where many turn back, scrambling to rebuild the familiar ego, because the weight of that openness is terrifying. It's the silence after the symphony has ended, and you realize the music was the only thing making the hall feel alive. This emptiness isn't a flaw in your awakening, it is its very essence. But we were never taught how to inhabit it, only how to achieve it. The quiet suffering here is the feeling of being homeless in your own being. Now, consider loneliness, not the loneliness of a Friday night with no plans. This is the loneliness of the witness. When you perceive from the standpoint of awareness itself, you can feel severed from the human drama. You watch your own thoughts and emotions like weather patterns, and in that observation, a gap opens. A gap between the pure observer and the person living the life. You see the social games, the unspoken contracts, the fragile identities people cling to, and while you understand them with compassion, you can no longer fully play. It's like being an actor who has seen the script, the sets, and the director's notes, and now finds it achingly difficult to lose themselves in the role. This creates a loneliness that is paradoxically most acute in a crowd. You are surrounded by people, yet marooned on the island of your own awareness. The emotional pain stems from a deep biological need for connection, now bumping against the truth of your fundamental aloneness. We are born alone and die alone, and awakening makes you a conscious resident of that truth every single day. Why does nobody prepare you for this? Because spiritual marketability sells bliss, not bittersweet clarity. It sells union, not the quiet suffering of integration. So we pathologize our own experience. We think, I must be doing it wrong. The guru looks so joyful. The sages speak of infinite love. We add a layer of shame and isolation on top of the original loneliness, creating a perfect storm of quiet suffering. We hide it, this emotional pain, because it seems so unenlightened. But here is the pivotal turn. What if this quartet, emptiness, loneliness, quiet suffering, emotional pain, is not the failure of the spiritual path, but its most sacred curriculum? Let's reframe emptiness. That hollow space you feel, it's not a deficiency. It is the cleared ground. For your entire life, your identity was a crowded, cluttered room. Awakening is the radical act of clearing out the furniture. The emptiness you feel is the shock of the open floor. It feels cold, it echoes, it's unfamiliar. But this space is sacred. This is where true creation can happen, not from the ego's compulsions, but from the silence. The quiet suffering is the death rattle of the clutter, mourning its own absence. The emotional pain is the attachment to the old, cozy mess. The loneliness is the fear of the new, vast potential. This emptiness is not a void to be filled, but a capacity to be honored. It is the awareness that can hold everything without being defined by anything. Your suffering comes from trying to refill it with smaller, spiritualized versions of the old ego, the healed identity, the awakened persona. Stop trying to fill it. Let it be empty. In that allowance, a profound peace begins to seep into the hollows. Not a peace that feels like excitement, but a peace that feels like the deep, still bottom of the ocean, unmoved by the storms on the surface. True emptiness is not a lack of everything, it is the space that holds everything. Now, to loneliness. The loneliness of the witness is in fact the doorway to a different kind of connection. A connection so deep it has been overlooked. When you feel separate from the human drama, you are being invited to connect from a deeper place than personality. Personality connects with personality. Awareness connects with being itself. The loneliness is the ache of a connection you have not yet recognized. It is the pain of the drop feeling itself as separate from the ocean, not realizing it is the ocean. The emotional pain is the longing for home. But what if you are already home, and you are simply longing for the feeling of being home? This is the cosmic joke. The quiet suffering eases when you stop trying to connect from your loneliness and start connecting to the very fabric of existence that you are a part of. The tree outside your window, the quality of the afternoon light, the hum of the city, these are not separate from you. They are expressions of the same beingness that you are. Connection from this level is wordless, vast, and utterly intimate. It doesn't remove the human need for touch and conversation, but it provides a foundation so you are not desperate for it. You can engage in relationships from a place of wholeness, not lack. This brings us to the heart of quiet suffering and emotional pain. We must make a crucial distinction. There is a difference between pain and suffering. Pain is a direct, immediate experience. The ache of loneliness, the raw throb of emptiness, the sting of perceived separation. Suffering is what we add on top. It is the story, the resistance, the judgment, the belief that says, this shouldn't be happening to me, I'm awakened. This means I've failed. The quiet suffering is the layer of commentary. The emotional pain is the pure sensation. Your work is not to eliminate the pain, that is the sensitivity of a conscious heart in a challenging world. Your work is to dissolve the suffering. How? By letting the pain be there without the story of what it means about you. This is the ultimate act of courage for the awakened being, to feel emotional pain fully, to let it move through the emptiness, to acknowledge the loneliness it brings, and to not spin a single tale around it. Just pain, just sensation, just life expressing itself in this moment through this nervous system. This is where you stop being a victim of your awakening and start being a masterful participant. The emptiness becomes the container. The loneliness becomes the space for unconditional presence. The quiet suffering unravels as you withdraw the narrative. The emotional pain becomes a clean, almost beautiful, expression of your aliveness and your care. The most profound healing is not the absence of pain, but the presence of awareness within it. Let's get practical. How do you live with this daily? First, when the emptiness feels like a yawning abyss, don't reach for a distraction. Go into it. Sit in the center of it. Ask, what is aware of this emptiness? You will find that even the emptiness is appearing to you, to awareness. You are the space for the emptiness. This realization shifts you from being lost in it to being the ground of it. Second, when the loneliness of the witness arises, use it as a signal. It is a sign you have over-identified with the observer perspective. Gently, consciously, drop your awareness back into the body. Feel the feet on the ground. Feel the breath. Hear the sounds without a label. Engage a sense fully. This bridges the gap. You are not just the one watching the movie. You are also the screen and the light. Re-embody. Third, for the quiet suffering, develop a practice of radical, silent permission. Several times a day, pause and mentally whisper, I allow this, all of this. Not to resign, but to end the inner war. You are not saying the pain is good. You are saying your experience is allowed to exist. This simple act disarms the suffering engine. Fourth, with emotional pain, practice feeling it as pure energy in the body. Where is it located? What is its texture, temperature, movement? Investigate it with gentle curiosity, as a scientist would study a fascinating phenomenon. This moves it from a psychological problem to a sensory experience, which is far more manageable and transient. This path does not lead to a state of perpetual numbness or bland neutrality. It leads to a richer, more textured human experience. You will feel joy more deeply because it's not clung to. You will feel love more purely because it's not needy. And yes, you will feel pain more cleanly because it's not resisted. The emptiness, loneliness, quiet suffering, and emotional pain become not your enemies, but the very elements that polish your consciousness to a brighter shine. They are the fire that forges authenticity. The integrated, awakened being is not someone who has escaped these pillars. They are someone who has built a home within them. They have made peace with the emptiness as their true nature. They have befriended the loneliness as the price of profound clarity. They have understood the quiet suffering as the echo of an old self, and they have learned to hold emotional pain with the tenderness of a parent holding a crying child, not needing the child to stop, but offering a safe, loving presence until the storm passes. This is maturity. This is wholeness. It is not a shiny, perfected state. It is a weathered, compassionate, deeply real state of being. It is the ability to hold the paradox of being the boundless awareness and the fragile human simultaneously without denying either truth. To feel utterly alone in the universe and completely at one with it in the same breath. So if you are walking this path and you find yourself in the silent territory of emptiness, loneliness, quiet, suffering, and emotional pain, please know this: you are not lost. You are not broken. You are not a failed spiritual seeker. You are in the crucible of genuine transformation. The seeds of your deepest compassion for yourself and for all of life are being sown in this very dark soil. Your sensitivity is not a curse. It is the instrument of your deepest understanding. The world doesn't need more detached, blissed-out beings pretending everything is perfect. The world needs deeply felt, integrated humans who can hold the full spectrum of experience with courage and grace, who can be with the darkness in others because they have learned to be with the darkness in themselves. This is the invitation, not to transcend your humanity, but to fully inhabit it, with all its beautiful, heartbreaking, empty, lonely, painful, and sacred textures. To stop seeking an escape from life and to start embracing the raw material of life as your path itself.